Tunnel, Tunnel. And you like that song.
I love that song. I absolutely love that song. Sean Camp and oh my gosh,
all you got to say is Sean Camp.
Shannon Lawson.
Yeah.
And Sean Camp. I love that song.
Sean has such a great feel for songs. Have you known him a long time?
I've known Sean probably, let me see, probably 12, 13 years.
Yeah. I would say I've known him at least that long, maybe closer to 20 in my case. He was working on a solo career in country music when I first met him.
That's been a while, but I remember he had a single out. That was
he did
late 90s.
He did, and I was working at local radio here at WSM at the time, and we were playing that Sean Camp song, and loved his music right then. Of course, me being a fan of traditional music, I love that, and it's to me very unfortunate that he didn't catch on in country, but that's been the gain of bluegrass.
He did okay though.
Well, yeah, he did all right. Well, he's done well as a writer.
He's done great as a writer.
He's done great as a writer, and that's really, I was talking about as an artist, but yeah, he's done great as a writer and has.
I think he'll always be known as an artist because he's just one of them guys, like you said. It's so great. Everything he does. He is traditional, but everything he does is his own thing. Every single thing he puts out, and he's always been out playing in some form or another. And I don't think anybody in town looks at him as a writer. He's his own thing, and it's everything he does is great.
Well, if you've ever met Sean Camp, and if you've ever heard him on stage, you know there is not another one like him.
No, sir.
And all the stuff he does with the Earls of Leicester notwithstanding, it transcends that.
I know.
He is truly one of the amazing guys. Well, Brandon Rickman here from the Lonesome River Band is my guest, but we're talking about the solo album he has out called Things Kids and Dogs Know, and the album is just now coming out. A single has been out for quite a while, and we've been talking about you coming in and doing this for several weeks. And I'm glad we could finally make it happen.
Me too, always.
Yeah. The arrangements on the songs that you have on the album, I was talking about Tunnel Tunnel and the way that was done. Was it, did you pretty much get the song that way? Was it demoed that way, or did you?
I actually heard it after it had been cut. I've never heard the original demo. Another good friend of mine, another great singer, Curtis Wright, had put out an album a few years ago, and that was on there. Excuse me. And when I heard his version of it, that's the way I didn't want to hear the demo because I was in love with his version of it so much that's what I want to do. The instrumentation is a little bit different on mine. That would probably be the only thing that I changed. I of course sang the song the way I sing it rather than the way that I heard. But
well, you got to do that.
Got to do that.
Yeah.
And but basically stuck with the arrangement off of that cut. And Jesse's singing harmonies, the tenor on that, he did an excellent job. He blew my mind on that song.
Jesse from Lonesome River Band.
Yes, Jesse Smathers.
Yeah, all the arrangements on this album, I mean, the album is essentially very grassy, as I was saying before. Yep. It's a very bluegrassy album. Your capabilities extend well beyond that. You can do any kind of music. But you obviously somewhere along the line made a conscious choice that this was going to be a bluegrass album.
I did, yeah.
What was behind that?
I think I don't know. You know, the last record rather was more, showcasing my songs at the time. I'd been writing a whole bunch and so showcasing the songs. But I don't know. Somewhere along the way, I'd left Lonesome River Band there for about a year to pursue the writing and more of the mainstream things here in Nashville. And then went back with Lonesome River Band only to find that I just felt like that's where I needed to be. And the last few years, I don't know. The older I get, the more traditional I get. I want to hear this stuff. It seems like, don't seem that long ago where you didn't have trouble hearing that anywhere, but now I'm just missing it, and I'm wanting it more traditional than ever.
Yeah. Well, you do that very well, and having seen you on stage and heard your records, you're very credible at it, and it's obvious that it's in your soul.
Well, thank you. And I'm getting to the more traditional stuff. I think I've figured out how to write traditional songs where it's a hard thing to do, but I think if you watch a Danny Paisley show, As soon as you get done, that's when you need to go pick up a pen and paper and your guitar. Well, try to write something like that.
Well, a traditional bluegrass comes from another time, or at least the classic songs do. And, the themes in the songs Bill Monroe and Flatt and Scruggs and the Stanley Brothers and guys like that, and those songs that were recorded, the themes are a little bit maybe archaic. Right. And so to write a song that you'd call traditional bluegrass today, but that is relevant to today's audience, would have to be a little bit challenging.
It is hard. And it's hard to, sounds weird, but it's hard to simplify, because you're so used to, so many songs have been written, and to write a simple song, you're trying to do it with, 2 or 3 chords, and to come up with a different melody that hasn't been already done to death is a hard thing. And again, that's why I love this song. I could hear the Stanley Brothers singing it, but the storyline, I mean, it's a Shawshank Redemption story is all it is.
Yeah.
And which is one of my favorite movies. So the two together, I was sold quick. I'll just say that.
Well, that's Tunnel, and the next song on here is a song called Low Down Blues, which now that's a bluegrass title. If I ever heard one. Yeah, you choose this song because you've had the Low Down Blues, or what led you to record this?
I think every bluegrass record has to have a song with the title blues in it.
Yeah.
So. No, Rick Lang wrote the song.
I thought you were serious there.
He sent me some songs, and this was one of them. And I thought, man, I mean, as a musician, and a bluegrass musician especially, there's nothing funner than sitting and playing this mid-groove, bluesy style lyric and melody with just a couple chords in it. And I don't know, if you ever notice, every Lonesome River Band record, we're going to have 2 or 3 of them on it. I had to have a couple on this thing too, and it's just what it is. Just a fun, grassy song to sit around and play. And these are the songs, the style of songs that when I was learning to play, this is what we called these jam tunes. This is what everybody wanted to play to,
All right.
Hey, let's do this. So hopefully people will be jamming to this thing.
All right. So what did he say? He said mid-groove, bluesy, and grassy.
But don't quote me on that.
Well, here it is. The Low Down Blues, Brandon Rickman on Bluegrass Junction from Sirius XM.